Which one of you is going to tell me that tea tastes different if you put it in hot water? You were putting it in cold water? Radish? Answer the question, Radish! Yeah, I thought for like 5 years that people just put it in hot water to speed up the teification process. Didn't realize there was an actual reason. You think I have the patience to boil water? What the fuck? You don't have the patience to microwave water for 3 minutes? Why are you putting it in the microwave to boil it? Do you think I have the patience to boil water on the stove? It takes less than a minute! Bestie, is your stovetop powered by the fucking sun? How long does it take you to boil a cup of water on the stove? Like 7 minutes? Just stick the mug on top of the stove on medium heat and it boils in like 2 minutes. Less than that if you use a saucepan. Crying, you're putting the whole mug on the stove? On medium heat? Your stove is enchanted. Every single person in this post is a fucking lunatic. Yet another post that reads like 4 Shakespearean characters who comes out in the middle of the play to talk about something completely unrelated for comic relief. Enter Radishant, Mothman Misato, Boimk and Cats in Raincoats, stage left. They are having a heated discussion. Prithee, which one of you had planned to tell of different flavors gained by simple act of brewing tea with water hot, not cold? Egad, you poured the water cold? Wherefore? In answer from you, Radish, I must beg. Indeed I did, dear friends. Why does this shock? Without the guide of others, I assumed that heat was merely added for the sake of expediting this solution's brewing. Half a decade I have spent, or more, not questioning this worldview I had made. In fact, I am myself a bit surprised that you might think that I, your dearest friend, might have a patience of sufficient stock to wait until a pot of water boils. 3 minutes overtaxes patience so. The microwave will beep when it is done. My friend, this answer vexes me the more. Can it be true that thou dost boil by nuke? Are you in turn, my friend, so shocked to know that I have not the patience, like our root, to boil upon the stove our favored drink? It takes less than a minute. On what plate? Perhaps your dinner cooks atop the sun. How long can take your stove to fill the task of boiling but a single cup alone? In minutes? Yes, I counted 7 once. Perhaps you ought to have your timepiece checked. If on a middle heat you place the cup, you soon will have the scalding drink you crave. 2 minutes in a mug upon the plate, or even less if you should have a pot. You cause me tears. Is this how thou dost live? You place upon the iron stove a mug ceramic, filled with water cold. How do these flames, though medium in height, not shatter like a glass this fragile thing? Surely then your kitchen is bewitched, with magics far beyond the mortal ken. The 4 realize they have wandered into the throne room. The royal court watches with fascination. Every single person in this group must be a fucking lunatic, it seems. I'm sorry, but the thought that has been put into this, I actually can't. The fact that nearly every line is so metrically considered, near perfect iambic pentameter, with the occasional trouchis for emphasis, but usually retaining a strong sense of rhythm nonetheless. And then the king comes in at the end, so wound in his disbelief that his response is reduced to prose. And the even better thing about this is how easy it would have been to structure the king's line into iambic pentameter. It is effectively already said as such because of the way Wizardly Ghost has phrased it, yet they haven't. They did not break the line, rendering what, by all typically of both Shakespearean canon and other periods context, should be the character with the most command and authority in the whole play. If there was ever a more effective way to convey a genuine, what the fuck, I know of it not. But it gets better. Shakespeare regularly uses meter in order to represent class divide. The nobility usually speak in iambic pentameter, save for a few particularly chosen moments, e.g. Lady Macbeth's descent into madness, Othello's realization of Desdemona's betrayal, or just lines where Shakespeare needs to suggest high emotion or when a character is lost in thought. Supernatural characters like the fairies in A Midsummer Night's Dream and the witches in Macbeth usually speak in trochaic tetrameter, an inversion of iambic pentameter. Lower class characters, particularly those used for comic relief, usually under the influence of alcohol, speak with no structure at all. Their language is plain prose. Therefore, if this is a conversation between these types of characters, as the prompt from Silver Garachi suggests, why the hell are these characters speaking so eloquently? Now this is Tumblr. It is subsequently logical to assume that this may have merely been a humorous recreation, and a very good one at that, of the Shakespearean style, in a way that is widely recognizable to an audience that may or may not have read a great deal of Shakespeare, which is understandable. However, logic is boring, so I'm going to probe further into this to the point where future historians will look to this as an example of overanalyzing. The inherent eloquence of the characters here suggests an unusual subversion of the roles typically assumed in Shakespearean comedy. This could be interpreted along two major avenues. Firstly, that the rhetoric displayed by the speakers is fundamentally representative of how truth can be expected even from the most seemingly pointless or ludicrous discussions. Furthermore, it would suggest that it matters not how well constructed your speeches are. If you talk bullshit, it's going to sound that way despite your attempts to hide it. This is similar but not identical to the second avenue of interpretation. There is the implication that the noblemen in the play are in fact the comic relief characters, therefore implying that the common people of the play are the ones whose influence, though not expressed in such a highly spoken manner, makes a lot more sense than whatever the hell this is. If this was a real Shakespeare play, I would call it a subtle exploration into the innate corruption of the rich and powerful. Well done, OP. Now, I doubt any of this is actually grounded analysis in any way, shape, or form, but if someone else can take this to the extremes of writing a Shakespearean scene, how can I not analyze it as such? And where else to do so than Tumblr? I'm in tears. I didn't think anyone would put this much analysis into this. Thank you so much. I also like that everyone else gets a version of their handle, and then Tumblr user Pidoop is promoted to king.